Graphing, or how to put all these numbers into a picture. There are three main types of graphs: a line graph, a bar graph, and a pie graph. A bar graph represents only the numbers that you have at that time, that there's no more story, no more information. A pie graph represents a certain amount out of a total percentage. Line graphs show that there's more information and things could change. Most of the time in 8th grade science, we are using line graphs to represent our information. How to graph. The first thing you do on your graphing paper is to draw an X and Y axis. X is at the bottom of your page, Y is on the left side. Then you put titles and labels on each axis. The next thing you do is to put your scales or numbers on each axis. Keep them even and make sure they represent your data that you have. Then you plot your points and connect the lines. The last thing you do is to title your graph. This is a good representation of a graph. On the x-axis is distance dropped, the title, in centimeters with the label. They chose a scale from 10 to 70, skipping by tens. On the y-axis, they chose a title of distance returned. The label is centimeters. The scale goes from 5 to 25, skipping by fives. The blue line represents the data plotted and the line drawn, and the big title at the top, tennis ball drop, represents what this information is about. But how do you know what information goes where? You have to figure out which one is the independent variable and which one is the dependent variable. A variable is something that can be changed. There are two types of variables. An independent variable is something that I change in lab. The dependent variable depends on the changes that were made. The independent variable goes on the x-axis, the dependent goes on the y-axis. Back to our good tennis ball drop graph, the distance dropped in centimeters is what that group controlled, so that goes on the bottom, the independent variable. On the side was the results of that independent variable, the dependent variable, distance returned in centimeters, and that was drawn on the left side, on the y. Now that you have all the parts of a good graph, take all of your information and create a graph of your results. Good luck!